Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to get underway. Everyone can find their seats and remember to enjoy the show. Thank you.
So something funny happened the other day. I was pulling into the house, and Sawyer said that I like to call the new Spider-Man from Into the Spider-Verse Jazz Spider-Man. And I was like, why do you like to call him?
What are you talking about?
Kids say the darndest things. And they do the darndest things when you give them Rufinol.
Why did you call him Jazz Spider-Man? Which one?
The Miles Morales.
Oh,
the new. Yeah.
No.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Dan, Alan, we have our old reactions to this, so I can just cut
Yeah.
the story in without.
That's so true.
Dan's the only one who has to repeat anything.
All right, guys. If you're just
Okay, so
joining
take
us
it-
on Coming of Age, let's Dan tell the crowd what you did.
So, someone forgot to press record on my my Zoom, and I'm the only one here, so that was me. And then I didn't record, and then I said some things that I thought were funny, but they'll never be heard now. Hey, you guys want to talk about Baskin?
Yeah, welcome to Coming of Age,
Great.
everyone.
Welcome.
Hey, yo!
We're redoing this. We're gonna redo the first 10 minutes of this podcast, but it'll
Take
be
two.
okay. It'll be all right. I told a funny joke that I'm gonna repeat now.
You don't have to.
That no one laughed at.
You have it.
It's my intro for you guys, okay?
Oh. That was a funny joke?
No.
Oh!
You hurt me. Okay, this is the joke, guys. This is the joke. That's because I'm just gonna say it because you're driving your car on the way to work and you're like, I gotta hear this now, right? My co-hosts don't know it yet, but we're all about to move to Turkey so we can start a Slipknot cover band called Fear Not. And if you haven't seen the movie Baskin, it makes 0 sense. It's Chase Cummins and Dan Joplin.
I'm going to be very honest with you. Even if you have seen the movie Baskin, it doesn't make a ton of sense.
It
Yeah,
makes
it's a-
so
it's a
much
deep
sense.
cut.
It makes
It's a
so
deep
much
cut.
sense.
It's a deep cut. It makes
My
sense
name's
when you
Al-
walk me through it.
My name's Alan Loosebrock. It's the only thing I thought of during the whole movie.
I just thought about baby heads. Giant baby heads.
Giant, big old baby doll heads. Yeah, Baskin means raid in Turkish, which I had to fucking find, and I don't quite understand that either. But I guess we'll flesh out this film and find out.
It makes sense.
Ooh, there's
It's a raid.
there's a lot of flesh. There's a lot of flesh in the film, so let's flesh it.
Let's
Let's flush it out.
There's a lot of
All right.
flesh on that guy's face.
Real meaty. It's a meaty dome, you know? Like there's a lot of he's got a carapace. It's thick. It looks like a thick skin. But you know what? He probably got made fun of a lot as a child and got his feelings hurt, and maybe that's where he got the thick skin.
Hey, aw.
It's a bit of a catch-22 there. Can't get made fun of until you have the thick skin, but can't get the thick skin until you get made fun of. What do you do?
Yeah, wake up, snowflakes.
Throw yourself off a cliff.
Anyway,
So, did you guys like
dude's
this
name
movie?
is Can.
No, not really. Honestly, I did not like this movie. I did not enjoy it. I had fun with a couple parts. Most of it I thought was pretty much nonsense and didn't go as deep as I wished it would. And it's not till after I started looking up stuff that I was like, okay, that makes sense. I get that. It like kind of plays with like Turkish superstition and religion and free will and destiny and like hell and all this stuff, but like it really wasn't apparent to me when I was watching it. And
Feel like it would be more apparent if you're Turkish, and you know all that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I wrote. That's what I wrote. I wrote, it seems through like my American eyes and ears, I just didn't realize the references that were happening throughout the film.
Yeah, good if Turkish. Yeah, that was one I knew.
Yeah, and like I said before, when we weren't recording, Eli Roth is a person that I can see being like loving this film, and apparently he did, because it seems very Eli Roth and Rob Zombie-esque, and boom, there you go. Also, I thought of like The Descent during the film, because all those people crawling around, and apparently that's a big influence on the film as well, and I was like, God damn it. Like, no.
It wears its references on its sleeve.
Yeah.
There were definitely points where I was like getting really into it, and I was like, whoa, fuck yeah, and then it seemed to just fall a little short of, again, with me not being Turkish and all, not, I guess, getting some references, and it didn't seem, it seemed a lot more surface. It was just like, okay, cool, cannibal cult, but like, what?
But like, it took a while. Why did it take so long to get there? And like, I kind of got it after reading, but like, no. What did you actually think? Like, Dan, go for it. What did you think of the film?
Again, I say this about a lot of films, but I enjoyed it. I was confused at times, basically not knowing where certain dreams started and certain dreams stopped. And then kind of with the cyclical nature of the ending and everything, I still have a big fucking question mark after that. Don't quite understand.
It seemed like
was then he dead, and then it felt like
the time loop kind of just ruins everything. It's like it's like you think you get a handle on what's happening, and then it time loops, and you're like, all right, I give up.
And I mean, I guess I just put it all on the gypsies. On the gypsies, they almost hit, but like then the time loop comes in right before they almost hit the gypsies. So who knows?
It I don't know. It, like, one of the things I wrote down was like, what's the main character being pursued by this demonic force his entire life? Because it almost seems like he specifically was like meant to be there, but then I don't know. It kind of muddles the waters with its own narrative. Like, it didn't really know what it would the fuck it wanted to do.
I wrote never kick a gypsy's bucket.
Definitely don't do that.
You shouldn't do that.
Man, that's good. That's good. Oh, that's good. It's like there's so much like sexual gore and gritty, uncomfortable like sex talk too. Like, it's like okay, so
that's the most effective stuff, I thought.
The
sex stuff.
Yeah, the sex stuff is like, oh, this wraps up into something kind of like, well, not even wraps up, but like, it's just like, I can see like this being a theme. But dude, okay, so I was waiting for my father to come home from the dermatologist, and I was like, man, I don't know how long he's gonna be. I gotta watch this movie. This was today, and I was like, like, from what Chase and Ben said about this movie, I don't know if I want to watch it with my father, but if he comes home in the middle of it, then it'll be weird. I gotta stop it. Maybe I'll wait for him. So I just started the film, and I was like, immediately like, I am so happy I'm not watching this with my dad right now. Like, first off, I didn't know it was Turkish. I thought it was foreign, but I didn't know it was Turkish. I can just imagine all the things coming out of my father's mouth during like the opening like scene, and I'm just like, thank the Lord I'm not watching this with him. And did you guys think that the boy who worked at the restaurant looked like the little boy at the beginning of the film as well? I thought that was going to be him. Like, the casting with that young boy that worked at the restaurant, he had like those big eyes.
The young Turkish Casey Affleck.
I guess so. No, I mean the guy who worked at the restaurant. You know, the guy who like
Yeah. You were saying he looked like the kid that plays the young version of the
police officer.
The police officer.
Yes.
Who
yes.
Who's kind of.
I was trying to figure out who that character was, and they were pushing him around, and I was like, okay, it's that guy, and it's like, oh nope, It's not. It's Arda. It's the rookie.
Yeah.
It's the new guy.
But yeah, Chase, what do you think? What do you think about this film?
I think it's got some glaring problems. I don't think that the cinematography was bad or anything.
It wasn't even the cinematography. It was like how the I don't know what it is, dude. Like I don't know how to explain it. Because I don't handle cameras very much. So there was just something about it that I was just like, man, this kind of looks like shit. I didn't like it.
I don't know what that is, because it looked as clean or as polished as any other movie that from that era, from that time period, which was like 2015. It's like a digital. It's just like a digitally shot.
I'm looking at those weird meats on the grill, and they look great.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what it
mystery
was.
meats.
It was just the small film, like, you know, it was like an independent film, and I don't know, something about it just
didn't gel with you.
didn't gel.
Well,
Couldn't get into it.
I'm not gonna begrudge you that, but I tend to like it visually for the most part, and I liked all the gore and stuff, which is pretty much the only reason to watch this one. I think is the just like the absolute nightmare that it gets into in the like the last third of the movie, I
Yeah.
guess.
Took so long to get there. I was like, finally we're here. Oh my god.
Yeah.
See, I really just the middle was the slow part for me, because I like the beginning. I like the
Banter.
the banter. Yeah, the banter
Goodfellas
between the
moment
cops and
in
everything.
the-
Yeah.
Just that one
Except
guy going,
then
you think I fucked a guy? And it's like, well, you just said you fucked a guy.
You were just
Yeah.
laughing about it with your cop buddies.
Yeah.
But then I was also I was like, oh god, he's just gonna beat this fucking kid to death.
Yeah, but then he's like a pansy when it comes down to like, yeah, you can actually fight him.
Well, but then he's on top of him, beating him, and the only reason he gets off is because they hear the guy scream from the bathroom.
Yeah. But he's like talking a big game until his chief is just like, yeah, you fight him, and then
Yeah. But that's why Leon the Professional did that in the first place, because he knew that would like mellow it out and diffuse it a little bit,
hopefully
just by being like, all right, here you go, big man. And then he's like, oh, okay, well, all right, maybe I won't go so hard, just give him a little headbutt.
just a little pat. Yeah, so I like that stuff too, but I definitely think the where it goes is kind of nice, but I don't think it goes enough into the surreal like nightmare stuff. It like tries, I don't know, it tries to like route it back to this like shoehorned in plot with the young cop, instead of it just being like a bunch of cops go to hell and get their fucking like shit handed to them.
It
Like,
tries to
either-
connect back to itself in a bunch of different places. Like with the mystery meat at the beginning, like why was one of the hooded figures from the cult delivering mystery meat to the place where the cops were eating? And
That's
what
a
the
big
fuck?
question that I had. I was like, why is that hand just handing the cook like the bucket? Like what? And then I like saw a bunch of like buckets like with the gypsies and stuff, and I was like, okay, are buckets a thing? Like what's happening?
And all the frogs.
I think buckets are just a thing in Turkey. I think that's just that's the only container they have is aluminum buckets.
Oh god. Yeah, the frogs are apparently a thing with Turkish superstition. Looking at yourself.
Frogs are
image wise, I
Big
like
thing,
the
yeah.
frog, like the
I
build
thought
up
it
of
was
the
almost-
frogs as it gets closer
Yeah.
and closer to the paranormal stuff. Like
I thought it was
could
gonna
follow
be
that.
biblical almost. And then like looking in the mirror at night or something. Like I was reading something about it. Like that's apparently like some sort of Turkish superstition where it's supposed to like show your true self, and like that's why he like screamed or something like that. And then
well, there was also the hooded figure behind him too.
yeah, which was weird. It didn't make any sense to me.
It felt like they were just throwing everything at the wall. They were just like, yeah. All this shit's so fucking crazy and creepy.
It screams
And a lot
as
of-
like
and it was,
yeah.
but like it didn't fit together necessarily.
It feels like a guy who wasn't expecting to be able to make a feature length film, and then they were like, "Guess what? You get to make a feature length film." And then he was just like, "Everything. Let's just do everything."
what do I do, Eli Roth? And Eli Roth's like, I'm super successful. I'll show you. You're like, no, Eli Roth, no. Don't take his advice, please. And then apparently, dude, so like so many things I read on the internet would either say this film is not supposed to make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It's supposed to like fucking like just be completely crazy and random.
You don't get it. It's not supposed to make sense, okay? And that's the whole point.
And I hate that. I hate that. It's not good. And it's not good unless like it like makes sense within it not making sense. Like you have to like try for it to not make sense. Like there has to be some.
Oh, you
sort
gotta
of, like,
trip balls.
There has
That's
to be
how-
like some sort of like theme of chaos or something. Like like.
That's how his second film is, which it's far more successful in its presentation.
And then the other side of things, I read a bunch about the director talking about like themes of superstition and like religion and kind of like with the Arctic character, he's talking about destiny and like free will, like near the end, like like where the guy is poking out the eyes, like waiting for that guy to open his eyes, and like once he says his name and he like gives into it, like that's when he can take it from him. It's like I don't know. There was like a thing that I read about like there's a scene where one of the cops scratches his foot and like that's like bad luck in Turkish like superstition. I was like, are you kidding me?
Come
like
on,
I'm
come
not gonna
on.
catch that. Like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna get that. This is stupid.
I would like to talk to someone
This
from
movie-
the Turkish culture who
The tagline was "Good if Turkish." Again.
yeah good
Yeah.
if you're Turkish. I'd actually like to talk to someone from Turkey to see how they perceive the movie, because I suspect that they probably have even if you're Turkish, you're still kind of like lost
It's a
in some of
stretch.
this. Yeah, it feels like a stretch.
Yeah. I like the line hell is not a place you go, you carry hell with you at all times. I was like, that's a good little it's a quote for like a doily or like cross stitch project.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell is where the heart is.
It's a good like cross stitch for anybody, like any satanic household.
Yeah. Aw, that's cute.
Obviously, you guys hate the time loop at the end. I wanted to ask you guys a question about the scene in the when they're all in hell, and they make that guy fuck the goat woman, and then
Oh God.
and then the spider crawls out of his mouth.
Yeah, what's going on there? I have no idea.
I read that
Question mark.
I read that scene as like, is that like his soul crawling out of his mouth, like in the form of a spider? But I feel like it's got to be some kind of Turkish symbol or something.
I don't know.
I will say I
have no
like the
idea.
imagery of it. I thought it was cool, but
Again, that's one of those things that like I didn't like. I thought the imagery was fucking dog shit. Eli Roth, like just
Yeah,
shit.
I thought it was just all over the place.
It was
I mean,
just
it
like,
was-
I don't
it-
know.
it was all over the place. But it doesn't mean it didn't fit within the context of the movie. That doesn't mean the imagery in and of itself is poor. Like,
I'm not saying
if it
you
was in
can't
a better
enjoy
it. Yeah.
if it's in a better movie, that would be a badass scene. Like the image of it is cool. Like the spider crawling out of a guy's mouth after doing all of that. It's just like it doesn't mean anything in this movie. It's full. This movie's full of at least I thought with cool stuff. It just it doesn't add up to anything.
Yeah, it's like I was saying, they're just throwing everything at the wall.
Yeah.
Like fucking it's all cool, it's all crazy, but like it doesn't necessarily go.
Yeah.
Okay, so she also
Don't
like
flow.
births like the woman. Like I guess he gets her pregnant. And she has a baby in 2.5 seconds, and it's like a little mummified larva, like hairy, weird, like burlap sack thing. Like, and then they just take it away, and that's never a thing again either. I'm like, what? Like, what is happening?
But it seems like he wanted it to be like
Johnny, I have cancer.
like they get caught in some kind of like weird ritual, and he just doesn't follow through with what that any of the ritual is. At least in my mind, if you're going to do that, where it's like they obviously have a plan for these guys when they get them there. They're not just like haphazardly torturing them, and they produce a fucking baby, like you said. There's some kind of thought put into why all this is happening, but then he does nothing to explain why. And I think that's like probably the biggest flaw the movie has, is that nothing makes sense or is explained.
There should have been more of the movie doing some setup on the quote unquote hell place. Even when I was watching it, I wasn't like, it didn't seem like they were in hell. It just seemed like a haunted mansion with some weirdos living in it. And
yeah, I was like, there's just fucking homeless people down in the caverns of this fucking old police station.
Yeah,
and they're
and
trying to fuck this old baby man.
They like to bleed a lot and put on straw hats and I'm like, what? Yeah. Okay, so when they were first introducing, I liked the scene when the cops were just getting to the house and like going through, and, like they find the other policeman and they find the police hat on the ground, and then they start going deeper in. They find all the cages, all that stuff, like the cages and the people like cutting off other people's arms. Even the people who were like getting their arms and legs cut off and like injured, like they seemed like they were like part of it as well. Like I was like, okay, like everyone's just part of it and no one cares. And like how the imagery of how they looked like they had like chains and like trash bags. I liked it for like the first couple scenes, and then they just kept on shoving it down your throat, and I was like, I'm already over it. I'm already over it. I don't care about it at all anymore. Can we move on? Can you like show me something new? Like I was just so sick of those people, because there was a lot of quick shots too that like they didn't do anything for you because it was just so quick, and like you didn't see anything but dark, bloody, like weird stuff, and I was just like, I got real bored of it real quick. So
all right.
I don't know. I enjoyed it for a little bit, and then I was like, Eli Roth's fingerprints are all over this. It was gross.
What'd you guys think about all of the scenes between the sergeant and Arda at the table, all that, like
I didn't quite know what was going on.
Inter-realm
Again,
shit.
it's the same thing with all this shit. It was all cool. It's fucking dope. Like fucking blood or dark water shooting out from under his hands. And like he talks about this the dream he used to have, the dream he had after his friend died, and then like showed himself to him, and then he's like, oh, I keep having this dream, and then he's like, there's a guy in here. Do you see him? Do you see anybody else here? And he's like, what am I supposed to feel? And you just see, like, that's really great. You see the fear in his eyes. The fear that he talks about earlier in his dream, of that you don't know what you're supposed to fear in a dream. You just feel the fear, and like you see that snap into his eyes. But yeah, I don't know what the fucking point of like those scenes necessarily were.
That's probably my favorite scene though, when he does that whole monologue, that whole dialogue. Just at that point in the movie, anyways, you're like, you don't know that none of it's going to get answered, and that it's only going to mean anything.
And
so you're watching it. At least I was like, oh, I'm into this. This is good writing. Like
that's
this
the
is
fucking
cool.
scene they use in the trailer to be like, oh my god, this is going to be a fucking amazing head trip. Goddamn. And then you're just like, oh no, it's neat.
Yeah,
cool.
That scene for me,
That looks cool.
I was like, I can't wait to find out what's gonna happen from this scene, and then nothing. And then like when you get another scene, like when the police sergeant is like dying after he gets his neck cut, and he's like talking about his uncle, like, I told your uncle I would always watch after you. I'm like, who's his uncle? Like, why are we bringing up his uncle? This was never established. Like, what?
They mention him in passing once before that. It's like, they're somehow related. It's very strange.
They say one line about the rookie's parents dying, and then he's like, yeah, and then your uncle gave you to me, and then now I've got you, and that's it. That was it.
That was it.
It just didn't go very deep.
No, it's all surface level.
Ugh.
It's like Johnny Go Deeper. Johnny Go Deeper.
Also, I thought that guy was gonna get killed immediately from getting hit in the head with a sledgehammer. Like I was like, he's
Yeah.
dead. Nope.
Nope.
Nope, not at all. We're gonna have to have some terrible practical effects on his belly now. Like that was weird. That was so weird.
I don't think they were terrible.
I thought it was terrible. It already looked like it was stitched up. He was bleeding from his belly before they even touched his belly. I was like,
Well,
wait,
no,
They did. They
th-
cut
that
him
was-
open and stitched
yeah,
him up.
they
He
cut
like
him o-
pulls the stitches
They cut him
out.
open so that they cut him open and pulled a little bit of like his intestine out so that he could use it as a fucking like zip cord, like just like fucking pull tab, and then it just opened up his whole stomach.
It just didn't look good to me. It looked very cheap.
I mean, it didn't look good. Didn't look good to me, as in like I was like, that doesn't look like a good time. But I was like, oh god, this fucked up.
Yeah,
I wish I
have to agree with
cringed. I
Dan.
didn't. I was like, oh.
I
man, it
feel
looks
like
a
you did- I
plasticky
feel-
belly.
Yeah, I feel like you watched like a low res version or something, man.
Somehow,
'Cause,
I
something,
feel
man.
like-
Like,
I feel like
think
this.
I think I watched a high res version, and you guys saw some bullshit.
No, I'm gonna have to say that those are some of the better
just
practical
watching
effects
it on
I've
Hulu?
seen ever.
that shit was dope.
Yeah,
Why would it look bad if it was in low res? It would look
I
it
don't
would
know.
look better if it was in low res.
No,
Dude, it
practice
just
was
looked
great.
fake. His belly needed to be fatter. He needed to gain some weight for this. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I just didn't
You really
dig
need
it.
to
I did not dig
commit.
it. The best practical effects was that guy's head and his whole body and face, and he was a real person.
That's because that was just his fucking body and face.
The best practical effects was the casting.
Just, yeah, that's true.
Like the guts and like everything like just looked, oh man, it looked so fake.
I'm gonna
So fucking fake, dude.
agree to
I
disagree,
don't-
I guess.
Yeah.
Hold
Wasn't
on,
into
hold
it.
on. Here's the pull tab. Here's the pull tab scene. I think I got to pull it. Oh god.
Oh, if only there was a way to translate
Oh.
this into the radio format.
Yeah. God damn.
Who needs the radio? Ma.
His his belly was purposely cut beforehand.
It's
So he could
stitched
just
up.
rip it open. Oh, and then he just like gives it to the.
Okay, I
Straw
will admit maybe I missed
Okay.
the part where he got stitched up. Okay? I didn't know when that happened.
Well, no,
'cause
they-
I was
they
like,
don't-
why
they
is
don't
he
show you
stitched up?
They don't show you getting stitched up. Hey, but you know what?
Okay,
Actually,
well,
looking
then
back
never
at
mind.
it,
I take it
I'm
back.
trying to give it to you. I'm trying to give you something, Alan. Here, okay? I'm trying to say his belly does look a little plasticky.
Yeah,
it looks
yeah.
a little. Yeah, the belly itself looks a little fake, but the effect. Oh, I think the effect still works. And also, his belly would look a little distended and whatnot once it's been sliced open and rearranged.
Don't try to do that shit. What was the part
Fucking watching it right now.
going back to okay, so if
Oh, he
if
tastes
we're-
it.
No,
Sorry.
not even going back. Going forward. So he kills that guy. That guy's dead, and then he moves on to Rem, or
Yavuz.
Yavuz. Yeah, he does his whole thing where he gets his eyes cut out, and then he has some fun with the devil lady, quote unquote fun, and then he got a spider crawl out of his mouth. Then he moves on to Arda, and the guy's like, "Oh, I wasn't wrong about you, Arda," or whatever. And then he moves on to Remzi, and he says that something about there's 2 passengers here. What does that mean? What does that line mean? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I do. I don't know if I have an answer for what it actually means, but
There's too many things that I can't answer at all. Like I'm just like I don't even know what like the two passengers. I was like, oh, there's gonna be like something where like this guy's already like possessed, or like he has like somebody else, like another soul, like bonded with his, like something like that. And then nothing. Like I was like, what?
well, and it almost seemed to be implying that Arda and Rimsey were already like associated with these like creatures for some reason. Like obviously with Arda, we get the little flashback at the very beginning with him as a kid, and I feel like heavily implying that the bald guy has been following him, the father, around.
Yeah.
And then maybe they're implying that that's been the case for Rimsey, and they're both
I mean, they do imply that it's been the case for Ramsey, because in the scene where they're, it flashes back after they crash and they go into it goes back to the restaurant, and they have the talk about Cosquin. It's not Cosequin, it's like Koskun or something. I keep saying Cosequin because it's like Clonopin or whatever that Trump's taken for his COVID. But anyway, when they have that flashback to them talking in the little diner thing, he says the whole shit about like, you've got The Shining too, and like, here, can't you see who else is around us? And like, so it shows that he's able to see them too, and he's like, you're the first one who's ever seen them other than me.
Yeah, exactly.
But then they are real people. So what are you fucking talking about? I'm the first one that's seen them other than me. There's a whole fucking cult of people, and there's a bunch of people tied up in cages with garbage bags and chains. What the fuck?
Yeah, and they like it.
Yeah.
Well, so maybe that's what he's talking about. Like they're both somehow associated, but it doesn't, like we've already said, it doesn't add up to anything. He just dispatches of Rimsey and then Arda escapes. So it's like it doesn't.
Do you guys think like the hand? Okay, the hand that shows up at the beginning and the end coming out the door of the child's bedroom. You know that one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think that looks good? It didn't look cheesy as shit to you? Like, it looked so bad.
No, the close up hands in the water I loved.
Yeah,
but the
hands in the water was nice. Yes.
Dripping gore hands. Yeah, no, they didn't.
They didn't look.
I wasn't
I didn't
a fan.
care
I
either
wasn't
way.
a fan. Yeah,
Dude, I was
It didn't
immediately
do
like,
anything.
dude, I saw that and I was like, man, this movie better get better. Like right now. Like, oh god. Okay, so we're into Ramsey bleeding on the floor. He's talking about, I made a promise to your uncle. He'll hold me responsible in the afterlife. Like what? And then
Since when is there an after? Like, what are we?
Yeah,
fucking,
and then there's
where's any of this established?
there's a key
Turkish
inside
culture, I
of
guess.
his. There's a key inside of his sliced neck. So good thing he got his neck sliced, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
the one
Lucky
key in
duck.
life, it's yours now. And like exactly what's gonna happen right when he gets that key, because the Elmer Fudd baby looking motherfucker has a keyhole on his head. And it's like, it's not good. It's not a good scene. Like, I really wanted something. I was like, really? He's just going to punch the key into his head? And then everyone's like, all the cult followers are like, no, we can't do anything now.
You're just fucking
Our
squealing.
father is gone. And it's like, he's just dead? Like, that's it? Like, why? Why?
I really like this movie, like starting out, and is like, I mean, I'm not unhappy about watching it, but yeah. It could have been. It left me wanting.
Yeah.
It could have been a lot better.
It could have been a lot better. It should have been a lot better. But I didn't think it was a terrible movie or anything. It's just like it's like a midnight movie. It's it's worth a watch.
It's gore.
It's
gore
gory
and fun.
Yeah, I had
Gore
fun
and
with it.
And when they're singing in the fucking van, that's a blast.
Oh my God. I could not believe
Weirdest
that
scene in the movie.
So
Oh my
uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
Also, when they translate that song, like part of it's talking about like, if I can't have her, she should die. Like,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a messed up song for sure.
oh my god.
And then, dude, okay, so right when Arda escapes and he's like laughing, like he's crazy, I'm like, oh, is he like gonna be like one of the gypsies now? Or like, what's happening? Because that gypsy who was laughing and they're like, he's slow.
And then they kick the
Dude,
bucket and the little girl puts a
right-
curse on him.
Right when he's walking down the street, I'm like, oh no. Oh, God damn it. I know exactly
Yeah.
what they're going to do. Here comes the sirens. Here comes the police truck. Like, oh, come on. Really? Like, it was so glaringly easy to see, like, what was going to happen.
Oh yeah.
And then, so they run him over and the van goes into the water again. And then you're like looking, you're like, okay, like, no one's moving in the van. Is there anyone in the van? And apparently that's supposed to be a thing where it's like Arda like changed the cyclical loop by like killing the father, so like they were never even in the van. And I'm like, no, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Or is it that they died
in the
in
van.
that
just
car
all
crash,
died.
and then it's all hell?
Yeah.
Then they like it as soon
Yeah.
as they get pulled out, like that whole thing in the diner was him dying, and then he gets dragged out, and he thinks that that's him
Yeah,
getting
the
dragged back
dreams.
to consciousness.
The dreams part of it was weird because there was a lot of Arda said it once or twice, like he doesn't know when the dreams end or whatever, and like seems like he's like dreaming sometimes, and like seems like you're supposed to be also conscious of like maybe he's still dreaming.
Well, Rimsey also says in that first time we go to the diner after they get into the car accident, he says this is either something you're going through, or we're both going through, or we're all going through. And it made me think, like, or it's insinuated to me that either it could be that Arda has died and he's like imagining this space, or Arda and Rimsey have died and they're both in the same space, or all of them have died and they're in this space. And it's like
It can be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah,
but
Fucking A.
it seemed to be pointing out that like either you died or we both died, or fucking all of us are dead and we're now here. But you know, something.
Pick one.
Yeah, pick one. But that's what
Right,
that's what
writing.
it implied.
I don't have to write because I wrote this line. And then it
You
ends
decide.
and then it ends in a terrible screamo rock song.
Yeah, that is a bad song to end on.
Oh, good Lord Almighty!
I honestly forgot that that's how it ended, because I watched this like a year and a half ago, pretty
Yeah.
drunk, only because I was told to watch the second feature, and the person who recommended it to me said, you could also watch his first one. It's okay, but and I was like, okay, I'll check it out because they were both streamable. And I was like, drunk enough that I was like, it's okay. And then watch the next one like the night after. But that's how I was even introduced to this. So I honestly wasn't like super clear on in my memory of what happened. All I really remembered was the bald dude in that whole sequence.
Yeah, he's the best part.
Yes.
He's the best part. Even that sequence I didn't care about. I didn't care about the gore. I thought the movie sucked like so hard. I did not have a good time. I'm almost happy I didn't watch it with people. You told me to watch it with people. I was like embarrassed during the film. Like I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy no one knows I'm watching this except for Chase and Dan. And now our one fan.
It all sounds like a personal problem, though. You get with a couple gorehounds, that's a perfectly fine movie to watch.
Watching it with Ben was great for just him wanting to go to Turkey and things like that, and him loving all those fucking Eastern European countries and like Middle Eastern shit. Him just it was good. It was fun. God damn it! I really it wasn't until they got into the fucking Hell House that it just really the cheese level turned up. Before that, I was a lot more enthralled.
Yeah.
But once that dude gets hit in the head with a hammer, then I was just like, oh, okay.
I know what's happening.
That's what we're doing now. Just fucking bashing the shit out of him and stabbing him to
The
death.
director talks about that as well. He's like, I love to make movies that are like two different genres and they like switch in the middle. And it's like, okay, but like do it better. Do a better job, please. Because your fans act like viewers care what happens in a movie. They really do. So
Well, I don't even know if there's anything else to say.
Any closing remarks from anyone else?
Yeah, we had the band and we tried real hard. Jimmy quit and Joy got married. Should have known we'd never get far. Was that guy the Bryan Adams of Turkey?
Damn, that's good. That is so good.
Yeah.
Bryan
Yeah,
Adams
thank
probably
you.
fucking does so well in Turkey. Oh my God.
Dan
all right.
disappeared.
We're gonna do the next one. We're gonna do Housewife next week. I'm
It's
stoked.
supposed to be better.
I like it better. I remembered more of it. It's like more Lovecraftian, so it's pulling from mythology that we're probably more familiar with. It's also not.
Does it go deeper into that rather than just like, look, there's a squid monster? Like,
I think so. I remember it. It's very trippy. It's much trippier than this one. And it's in English.
this one just
mostly.
wanted to be trippy. This one wasn't even trippy. It just wanted to be trippy.
Well, exactly.
Like,
I think from what I remember, Housewife was actually trippy. And it was more entertaining. From what I remember, I liked it better.
Also,
I liked it a lot better.
This is a hard one just because we just came off of Loose, which was just so fucking incredible.
Yeah, how do you follow that?
It actually had things that like you had to puzzle piece together that made sense though. It wasn't just
Yeah.
complete shoehorn garbage.
Yeah.
No, I talked to you guys about Loose and I understood it more and was
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, I get that. Even more coherent now.
And you didn't have to be
Talked
German.
about this, and this made less sense as we talked about it.
I wouldn't expect to
more
like
we
Housewife
fleshed it
as
out.
much as Lose. I wouldn't expect it. I would keep your
Oh, I will.
expectations low.
No.
Listen,
no,
I'm not
no.
going to.
But this is
Lose is like once
We've
in a
had
blue
this-
moon kind of a movie.
so it's like we had a little palate cleanser of dirt, and now we get to watch another movie.
It's a good little one to put it up next to. You could compare a really good, like possession movie with a not so good cult possession movie.
Yeah. I hope he distanced himself from Eli Roth before he made a Housewife.
I would hope so.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting coppers.
What?
I was trying to do an Elmer Fudd, Baba.
Baba.
Hey,
Baba.
it'll be in there. Chase will cut around it. Don't worry.
Now, Housewife has one of the better, has a really cool gore scene that I liked a lot. But hearing what you said about the gore in this movie, Alan, I'm not going to stand by that statement right now because I haven't rewatched Housewife in about a year and a half as well. So,
All right. Oh, hey, you enjoy what you enjoy. I'll shit on what I want to shit on. It's gonna be all right. So yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. We will catch you next week with Housewife. Love you.
Catch you later, alligator.
bye. Go fuck yourself.
See you, fuckers.